everybody, and welcome back. We're back with another Good Work show. So, this is going to be a good one today.
Yeah, so we're speaking with Frances McBrayer of Focus, and it's a really interesting organization that's focused on supporting parents and families with children who have a variety of special needs, that might have had a medical diagnosis that requires them just to need some additional support. So they have created a community of support for parents and families as they kind of navigate their reality with their children. So really cool organization to talk to and see what they're up to.
Yeah. So we're going to talk to Frances, and they have a conference coming up too. So we'll ask her a little bit about that for those parents or those of you who might know of families who have children with special needs or any variety of disabilities. I think they serve different families who have different circumstances. So if you are interested and know somebody who might be interested or just want to learn a little bit more about the organization, we invite you to stick around, and we'll get right into the interview.
Next, we'll hear from Frances.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Good Work Show. We are excited to be back, and we've got a great organization that is on with us today. So we have Frances McBrayer, who is the Executive Director of Focus, which is an acronym that stands for Families of Children Under Stress. So welcome to the show, Frances.
Thank you so much, Elaine and Trinice. I'm excited to be here. I really appreciate you guys inviting me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will say, like, when I was looking at your organization name, I was like, if it was about families of parents under stress, that'd probably be every family could like qualify for your services. But it's families of children under stress. And that's really sort of where the mission started and what the organization started about. So can you tell us a little bit about how you started and your mission and who you serve?
Yes. So Focus started in 1983. It was started by two parents of children with rare genetic disorders who shared a hospital room. And at that time, they just really didn't feel like they fit in another group because their children didn't have a well-known or very specific diagnosis. And so it started out as a parent support group and has grown since then into serving. We have a network of about 4,500 families around the metro area. And we provide a variety of activities, both for kids. Typically, our population is children with physical and developmental disabilities. We serve families regardless of diagnosis. So there's not a specific one that you need to have. Everybody's a little bit different, but we're all kind of walking this parenting and family journey together. And we've just really, our goal is really to create a community because it really is a unique life when you live with a child with a disability. Doctor's visits and therapies and specialized seats and all kinds of things that you need. And so it's just nice to know people who understand your world and who really can provide advice and share resources. So our mission is to embrace and equip families of children with disabilities to make everyday life better.
Great. And I know you said you don't necessarily have any specific diagnosis or specific, but can you give us a couple examples just in case there's families out there listening and they're like, well, I'm still not sure if we fit in or if this would be the right organization for us?
Sure. So kind of examples would be children with cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, mitochondrial disease, rare genetic disorders. Those are pretty much kind of like the largest ones. We also have, different, there's just a lot of challenges out there. So, if a family feels like they need the support, then they can come to Focus because you don't have to prove it. We don't require medical documentation. It's really We feel like if families want to be a part of our community, then they probably need that support. And so we want to make sure that it's open to them.
Yeah. And you provide a variety of things. So everything from like a family night out to a camp. So kind of walk us through some of those things that you offer for the families when they come to you, because everyday life could be anything from something, I mean, just I guess a conversation or connecting right to some of the larger programs that you offer.
Yeah, so Focus really has a wide variety of things. Like you said, we do have a lot going on, and everything that we do kind of was stemmed out of community need. So this didn't exist previously, or it didn't exist to the level that our kids needed it. And so that's kind of how these things developed. So we have parent support groups across Metro Atlanta. Those are parent led, and they are typically geographically based. Some of them are not. We have like parents of kids under 5. We also have what we call Growing Old Together group for parents of kiddos that have aged out of school and are now kind of looking into that transition. We have communication through weekly emails, like social media, website, and like our regular newsletter. We have parent training workshops specific to raising a child with a disability. So things like individualized education plans and special needs trusts, kind of run the gamut on those things. We have large and small group activities where families can meet, support each other in like wheelchair accessible, adaptive, and sensory friendly settings. We have loaned and granted medical equipment not covered by private insurance or Medicaid. We have Saturday respite childcare, which is really just a safe environment where parents can have their trust that their children will be well cared for, and while they have a couple of hours break. We have adapted summer day camps, and those are provided in locations across the metro area, and they're specifically designed for children with disabilities. And we have specific staff, specialized staff. A lot of them are special educators and paraprofessionals during the school year who work for us in the summer, nurses on staff and things like that. So we can really accommodate a large variety of need. We have adapted swim teams that help our kiddos build skills and increase endurance. And we have overnight camps and monthly social activities for teens and young adults.
That's impressive. And it sounds like a lot of what you're providing is probably exactly what parents need. So it's resources, but then also help. Because I would imagine, for most parents, even just finding childcare to get a couple of a couple hours to do something, but how much that additional layer that's on there for a child with special needs that would have, that would need additional and specialized support, how valuable that kind of help would be just to give someone a couple hours just to take a break or run an errand and not have to, have the extra layers of things on you as you're going out to do your day-to-day, or just kind of, or maybe just take a minute for you to go see to your own medical needs or have an appointment or anything like that. So I can imagine that that's really helpful to a lot of parents.
Yeah, and that's, one of the things that, like you said, that we're really big on is connecting to those resources. And so while Focus doesn't have that service just for every day or every afternoon, we connect families to resources where they can find that. And that's just a big part of this community. So, we were started by parents. We continue to be led by parents. So I have a daughter myself who has cerebral palsy. Our family was a part of Focus long before I worked here. And it's really, when you call and you talk to someone who really understands that, who lives that life day to day and understands that you really do need specialized care to care for your child, then you start to say, okay, well, they do have resources. They understand my needs. And then we can kind of get to, okay, have you called here? Have you called here? Here's some tips on that, that kind of thing. That really, it does make a difference. One of our share group members coined it as like my people, like these are my people. And really just this understanding that it's just a unique understanding that you don't necessarily have if you don't live it day to day.
Yeah, that's a great sort of an analogy of how that parent felt when it really the connection is there. It'd be great now if we could share how families, how parents, maybe, others who are listening to this and know a family that could use your services or would like to get connected, can get connected to you. And then if there are others who are listening, I know you said you were connected with Focus even before you started working there. And I'm sure you probably hear that a lot, but if there are others who are just hearing it and are inspired by what you're doing and want to support, can you give us the information about how they can get connected to your services and then maybe how they can support what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. We are all we'd love to have people be part of our community, just because, when you are a parent of a child with a disability, you kind of, it's really neat that you want to share things that work. Don't try those 99 things, try this one thing. We already did all that. Maybe try this because you feel like you want to celebrate success and what it takes to get there. So anyone who's out there that has a child with a disability or has a friend with a child with a disability or knows someone who could use that support, our website is focus-ga.org. And right there on our homepage, there's a place that you can say like become a Focus family. And you can sign up through the intake page. It basically is just some basic information to let us know about you, where you live, and what your child's diagnosis is. And then that can help us get connected. So then you'll start to get our weekly emails. And in our weekly emails is where we share all the resources that we know of, all the programs that are coming up, our parent workshops, all of those things, so that you really start to kind of feel like you can take part in what makes the most sense for you. What's the best fit for your family and what you're looking for. And then also when you fill out that parent intake, it'll say kind of what you're looking for. And some people say everything, and some people say very specific things. And so it's perfectly fine to say very specific things, because then we can try to connect you to those needs that you might have. You can also just call our office. So our phone number is 770-234-9111. And you can also just call us. We answer the phone when you call, and we really try to talk through sort of whatever's going on. A lot of folks call us and say, hey, I'm looking for this, or I heard about you guys. Tell me more. We'd be happy to talk through just kind of what the particular family is in need of. If you want to support Focus, we would love to have you. We are privately funded, so we don't have any federal or state funding that supports our programs. We're all based on individual and private donations. So you can go to focus-ga.org/donate, or just to the website, explore things around, decide how you want to support. And we also always need volunteers, specifically for things like our summer day camps. We have some volunteers that help us prepare for our family activities. Right now, during COVID, a lot of folks that are doing drives or things like that, so that there's things that we can give to our families when they come to different activities. And then also, if you're a provider, so if you're a doctor or a therapist or someone who works with kiddos in our community, we would love to connect you and talk to you about a workshop that you might be able to provide for our kiddos, just to get information out, to really share that. We have an annual education conference coming up on January the 29th. It'll be our 35th annual. And so parents come to that program, and they get workshops. They can meet others, and they can also get workshops. Last year, we did it virtually as a result of COVID. This year, we're going to have an in-person component, but we will also have a virtual component for folks that don't feel comfortable being in person. And COVID has really allowed us to record all of our workshops since March of 2020. And so those are also all on our website. So if there's a specific topic that someone's looking for, you can go to those, or you can call us, and we can direct you kind of to what might fit that need. Our annual education conference is a great one. And we are always looking for new topics and folks that have information to share, but it's all related to parenting a child with a disability, education, health related, recreation, all those kinds of things are what's on our agenda, and love to get folks connected. So volunteer, donate, become a family. We'd love to have you.
Thank you. Yeah. So January 29th is the conference, and all the information about registration, that's all on your website as well.
It's all on our website. We have some speakers and workshop presentations lined up, and we'd be happy to talk about more. And if it doesn't work out that January 29th is a day that someone's available, then we do workshops throughout the year that can help our parents connect to that information as well.
All right. Well, great. Well, Frances, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much to what you and your team at Focus are providing for families. Please visit their website. Everybody, if you are in need of services, can volunteer. If you're a provider, just to even learn more about the organization from what you've heard today, if you're interested in that. Again, Frances, thanks for coming on the Good Work Show. We appreciate it, and hope you have the best rest of 2022.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.